Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
During our first segment this week, Julio and I will tell you the importance of pH and why it is needed to know for making great plants.
To seed or not to seed? That is the question. Spring seedling requires taking specific steps for success. We'll explain in our second segment.
Get ready. Your mailbox is about to get stuffed with offers promising the perfect lawn in only 4 steps. I almost said the bad word. Hogwash! In our third segment, Julio and I will discuss why it's best to avoid the 4-step program altogether.
We receive more questions about hydrangeas than any other topic. Why they don't bloom, when to prune them, et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. We're going to explain what to do or not to do right now in our fourth segment.
Philadelphia Flower Show kicks off today.
Oh.
A couple weeks ago, Seth Pearsall, the creative director for PHS Philadelphia Flower Show, joined us in the garden. We're going to recap what not to miss at this year's flower show. That runs through March 12th.
Ooh, nice. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back in the garden right after these messages.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Fertilum's azalea and evergreen food plus systemic insecticide 915-3 contains 5 micronutrients which are designed for azaleas and evergreens to provide the proper nutrients and producing stunning green leaves and essential new growth while protecting the plant from damaging insects for up to 8 weeks. Fertilum's azalea and evergreen food contains 9% nitrogen for green growth, building bigger stems and leaves, 15% phosphorus for root growth and increased flower production, 13% potash to promote vigorous growth so plants are better able to resist disease and cold. The micronutrients are the icing on the cake to enhance further growth, strengthen, and beautify color. Tired of seeing your plants prematurely drop their leaves, the flowers disappear? Fertilum's Azalea Evergreen Food plus Systemic Insecticide 915-13 contains an easy-to-apply insecticide that keeps your azaleas and evergreens looking great all year long. Those hungry insects do not have a chance. Apply in spring before bud sprout and continue throughout the season as indicated on the label growing guide. Fertilum's Azalea and Evergreen Food plus Systemic Insecticide 915-13 with micronutrients is a must for the passionate azalea and evergreen grower to help produce that beautiful abundance of color and fantastic fragrance everyone will love. So next time you visit your favorite garden center, pick up Fertilum's Azalea and Evergreen Food plus Systemic and expect to have the best looking shrubs in the neighborhood. You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. So, pH. A soil's pH is the gatekeeper for a plant's ability to absorb nutrients from the soil.
That's it.
You need to check your soil's pH and adjust it based on the pH requirements of the plant. Pretty good, huh, Julio?
Oh, I think it's great.
Now, before we go and you get crazy where you're going to, go into your local garden center with 100 bags of soil and ask them to check each one.
You're right.
Really, it's more like a vegetable garden, a lawn, where your landscape plants are, where your perennial bed is. Those are things that you'd want to know, but you definitely don't want to do each plant because that's just overboard and it's probably going to be wrong, to be honest with you, because you need to get a good average. So let's explain pH. Julio, help me here.
Yes.
If my pH number, and then we'll give everybody a little hint. Neutral pH is 7. So if I have a pH that is, say, 9, is that acidic or alkaline?
That's alkaline.
Alkaline. Okay. And if I have a 5, is that acidic or alkaline?
That's acidic.
So the lower the number, more acidic. The higher the number, more alkaline. Let's start with lawns. Lawns want to be neutral, or slightly below is okay too. But really 6.75 to 7, even as high as a 7.5, is fine in our area. But we have, in the whole Northeast, we have naturally acidic soil. So even if your pH is good, you need to apply a lime or a alternative to keep your pH neutral. You can't leave it just go because it'll automatically reduce. There are things that we contend with, everything from acid rain, where most of the Northeast, there's always a anchor of a city, like here in Philadelphia, New York City, and that when those rain clouds come over, that all of a sudden you've got acid rain, and acid rain is going to mess with your pH. So you can't just say, "Oh, my pH is fine." It's like, I don't want. Oh, we had a customer this morning, right? Oh, yeah. Pumped Julio for information for almost an hour, and then said, "Okay, thank you." We love helping people, but we're trying to make a living.
That's right. We open
So again, don't cheapen out by saying it's like, "Oh, I don't have to add anything for my pH." You actually do. Yeah. Even if your pH is right, in order to maintain it.
That's the key.
Even to maintain, so we're talking about lawns. Right. To maintain your lawn's pH at neutral, you need to apply lime or an alternative. We'll go into alternatives a little bit later. Vegetables. Vegetables want to be a little more acidic. Anywhere from 6 to 7.5. Most are going to be fine if you're neutral, and again, are slightly acidic. You're good. And it's plants, vegetables have a different pH, and there's some pH that want out. But if you're neutral, you're pretty much good. And that's what you're shooting for. And again, there's an alternative, which I wouldn't necessarily put like fast-acting lime or anything in my vegetable garden, but I absolutely would do one of the alternatives, which I'll give you a hint. It's Jonathan Green's Magic Cow.
Magic Cow.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. Your landscape, whether it's dogwoods, azaleas, rhododendrons, different types of hollies, Japanese maples, they all want to be fed with an acidic fertilizer, and they want to be anywhere between 5.5 to 6.75. If you're looking on YouTube, Julio just got up. That was interesting. But he went to go get Hollytone. Hollytone is, in old school terms, it's an acid-based fertilizer. But what that means is that it's meant to keep your landscape plants at a pH so they're for their optimum growth, optimum green, optimum flowering. And that's even junipers, even needled evergreens. Things like that are just fine. And if you're concerned about your pollinators, also, it's going to be in that 6 to 7 range. If you're a little bit, I just about used an old farmer's thing. I got sweet soil.
Sweet soil.
Sweet soil. And what sweet soil means is alkaline.
It's alkaline.
It's alkaline.
Yeah.
Sorry, old term.
Yep.
All right. A shout out to my farming days.
There you go.
But how do you find out, okay, what your pH is? I had a guy, I think I use this guy every year. He's probably 100 years old now. He brought in like 100 baggies full of soil, and he wanted me to test each one. He was horrified when I dumped them into one container, mixed them around, and did one test. And that's what I want you to be aware of. Like I talked about earlier, it's like pick samples from your lawn and pick them from different areas in your lawn. It could be front yard, backyard, and then mix them all together. And don't include the thatch. Okay, you want to get down to soil. You don't want to include the like little grasses. You're actually testing the soil, not the thatch. So make sure you get into the soil. And if you pick an area for your lawn, again, it's going to be front, backyard, side yards, mix it all together, pick different spots. Because if you pick one spot and it's where your dog's been going, guess what? It's going to be a little high. You're going to go home with a lot of lime.
Oh, my goodness.
But what you really want to do is you want to go and get an average. And that's what you're looking for. Landscape beds, you want to do them. Garden. So really, it's garden, landscape, and then again the lawn.
3 areas.
So that I'm okay with. And explain to it when you go to your local garden center, because most of them will do soil testing, and that you'll go and you'll say, hey, this is why I'm doing this. Don't let them do what I did and put it all together. That would make you mad. Yeah. The other thing is test kits are cheap. You can go out and you can get at your local garden center, you can buy probes. They work. You can buy so you feel like the mad scientist. You put a little dirt in, you put a little of this stuff in, and you shake it around, and you do the hokey pokey, and you find out that what your pH is. You can do that. Now, here's an extreme. We get this every year. People go to the local county agent, and they give the soil to them, and then they send it out to university, and they get back a test that horrifies them. Oh. It's like, oh my God, I need molybdenum. I'm low. It says I'm low in molybdenum. What am I going to do? It's like, do you have molybdenum? This says I need 2.5%.
Oh, really?
It's like, well, relax. You get your pH straight. You feed, okay? Just relax. Those tests are like terrifying to people that are just, the average Joes.
Oh,
and just...
Is that why they do it?
It happens.
Oh, my.
It's all about the pH.
Yeah.
And again, your plants basically say, like, if you're at the wrong pH for that plant, it shuts down. And if you have plants that you say, my plants are never green. They always are. And a lot of times it's because the pH is wrong. They can't absorb the nutrient value out of the soil, so they don't green up. Yeah. So it doesn't do anything. Go ahead, keep putting more fertilizer on. Yeah. You'll be your garden center's best friend. But the issue is that you got to correct the pH and make sure the pH is right before you start putting fertilizer on it. So again, pH is key. And when you're starting early, like now, this is the best time to do it.
Right.
This time to do it.
Beautiful.
pH alternatives. Julio, this is one of your favorite. What is a pH, again, instead of using lime, the alternative to use?
Well, we love Magic Cow, don't we?
Right.
Yeah, it's the best product by Jonathan Green, and it'll say on the bag whether it's for acid or alkaline.
And honestly, we don't even bring in we bring in the one that will raise your pH. Not the opposite one. Like places out in the Midwest or West where they have naturally alkaline soils, they have the opposite problem that we have. Yeah. So again, many of the Magic Cow that you see, again, because of what's in it. And Julio, can you tell me what's in Magic Cow?
Yes, it's magnesium, iron, and calcium.
Perfect.
Yep, and it tells you right on the Magic Cow.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, they were clever.
Aren't they?
In any case, so you're using Magic Cow, and why do I like it in the garden so much?
Why do you? Oh, because those are going to bring the actual pH level where you need it to be.
Also, but you're forgetting Magic Cow.
Calcium, yeah, for your tomatoes.
Tomato
yeah,
blossom
tomato
end
blossom,
rot. You know, when you
right.
get those things, it looks like there's a scab on the bottom of your tomato, and you're like, grew these things, your little children, and all of a sudden they have a scab on the bottom. It's because of low calcium. It's not an insect. It's not a disease. It's low calcium. And if you use Magic Cal in your garden, it will correct that, and you won't have issues with blossom end rot.
There you go.
Love that.
Yeah, that's
Love
the
that.
best part.
That is. Okay, say I have the opposite problem. Somebody's been liming in my landscape bed, and I have to lower my pH. You're going to want to use aluminum sulfate, or again, acidic-based fertilizers like Hollytone will maintain that pH a little lower, but you'll know only with a test. I want my hydrangeas blue. I want them blue. They're only pink. What do I have to do?
Yeah, right. You got to put the aluminum sulfate into your soil.
So when you're out looking for the package, I'm looking for this stuff called aluminum sulfate. You got it?
Yes.
You're going to look, and usually there'll be a hydrangea on the package, a beautiful blue hydrangea, because primarily it's done to get those hydrangeas blues. Like hydrangeas are like natural litmus paper. You know, they're pink if it's alkaline, they're blue if it's acidic. Something to say, hey, wow, it is science.
It is science.
Right?
Ooh.
So again, get your pH test. Online, there's a lot of different places where you can find what your pH should be. But honestly, shrub beds, you want it acidic, so you're going to want it anywhere between, say 5.5 to probably 6.5. Other things like your garden, you want it to be 7. Could be a little bit acidic. Like, for instance, tomatoes, they like to be a little more acidic. Not a big deal. And your lawn, 7.
7.
That's your target. And you have to put down a lime or an alternative every year to hold it. Now, if you have to raise your pH by 2 points, you have to put down twice as much stuff.
Yeah.
If you are only maintaining it, there's you may only have to get one bag as opposed to, gosh, remember we used to have the stuff that was all dusty and with lime, you'd put it in, it'd be like a white cloud. Yeah. Who's the Peanuts character? That Pigpen.
Pigpen,
Pigpen would walk around and it would look like, that's what
yeah.
it looked like when you're putting lime down back in the old days. But you don't need to do that anymore. And then you tell people, it's like, well, this will only raise your pH this much. You need like 25 bags. And they're putting 1,000 pounds of lime in their car.
Gosh.
God, I miss those days.
Yeah.
Anyway, now it's more concentrated, it's easier, and life is good.
Yes, it is.
All right, so make sure you get your pH tested. All right, we'll be back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. You know, some of our most frequent questions revolve around organic container gardening for houseplants, annuals, and of course, vegetables. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is a lightweight soil mixture made with salmon, blueberry, lobster, and other composts, as well as calcium and chitin-rich lobster shells, sphagnum peat, perlite, and kelp meal. It is a great soil. And Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Organic Potting Soil is rich in organic material, creating lush, disease-resistant plants that require less watering, less feeding. Its rich, dark brown color provides the perfect balance between water retention and drainage needed for healthy plants. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is available at these local retailers.
Forcelati Brothers, Rivervale, New Jersey. Calgo Gardens, Freehold, New Jersey. Tony's Farm and Garden, Windsor, New Jersey.
Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant paired with the perfect container can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
Have you looked at your lawn lately? Julio left, so I have to cover for him here.
Thank you.
I bet you have, but you've got a decision to make right now. Seed or wait until the fall? Seed now or wait until the fall?
Yeah.
What's the problem, Julio? Crabgrass.
I got sore.
He has a sore throat.
Sore throat, yeah.
Everyone, prayers out to Julio,
Yeah,
please.
thank you. I
Anyway.
appreciate that.
I got you, bud.
Thank you,
I
buddy.
got you.
Oh, I know you do.
I talk a lot anyway.
You do.
Listen, crabgrass is the problem.
It is.
All right,
Major.
crabgrass is dead.
It's always a
It's
problem.
not growing. It only comes back when it regerminates after it's dropped its seed. Now, if you're putting seed down to grow grass seed, you're going to have a competition between the crabgrass seed and the seed that you want. So what to do? There is an effective crabgrass control for seeding, but it's somewhat suspect. You know, it'll control some of the crabgrass, but I don't know about all of it. Crabgrass seed can remain in the soil for a long time. It can sprout all the way into late spring, early summer. So we're talking about June.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
And that's why we recommend how many applications of crabgrass control?
Two.
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 Yeah, we're going to talk about that when we come talk about our STEP program. So what are you going to do? If you've got bare spots, you can seed. You know, you just need to make sure you rake up the area and have good seed soil contact. Understand what that means? You cannot just throw it on top of the thatch.
Yeah.
You need to get down to the actual soil, put it on the soil, and then you're going to cover it. You can use a topsoil. Compost is better. That will have those areas. They'll be growing in no time. But you can't put a crabgrass control, a regular crabgrass control over it because it will prevent those seeds from germinating. So you have to be conscious about what's going on. We talked last year, Julio, about core aerating.
Oh, yes, we did.
Is your throat better? Core
Yeah,
aerating?
much better.
Can you describe what core aerating is?
Yeah, it's core aerator. What it does is a machine that goes. It looks like a rake, but that goes around in circles. And not a rake. It's like a rotator, like a rotary. And it digs down into the ground. It has these little
Takes a
plugs.
plug out?
Yeah. Yep. And so don't worry about it when the plug is out because that'll decompose, by the way.
That's right.
So
And so it makes a little hole,
right.
like where the seed can, after it gets watered, the seed goes in
Goes
there.
in there, yeah.
And the best part of that plug has a little bit of soil on it,
Yeah.
and it covers it up. So it makes its own little,
thing,
so, I'm thinking about going there. Julio, maybe you should too.
Yeah, I know in my head.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
What I really want to know is how long, if you get hair plugs, do you have to wait till they
have
go
to.
back to work?
Yeah.
I guess there's an embarrassment time.
Yeah,
can you wear a hat? If I can wear a hat, I'm getting it done tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so you put the plugs in it. It basically is like getting hair plugs.
Yeah.
It's hair plugs for your lawn,
Yeah.
except it works a lot faster.
I hope
And it's
so.
green. So if you go ahead and plug them in, and you have to do it in, I almost would put down seed first,
Right.
then plug,
Then plug it.
because you're creating a layer. The plugs are going to sit on top of your lawn. And most people say, oh, I'm going to break all those up.
Oh, no.
Don't rake them up. You're wasting your time. Too much effort. We want to make lawns and taking care of your lawn and garden and yard easy. And this is one easy step. When you cut your grass, all the soil is going to be off of those plugs. And when you cut the grass, it's just going to basically mulch them up, and you'll never know that they were there. So it's something easy. But crabgrass control, you have to use a crabgrass control that allows you to seed. You cannot use a standard crabgrass control. As long as you're doing that, you'll be fine. I had a area where I power seeded my lawn. I did not like the results. I don't know if it's the power seeder I used or what, but I would plug. I would do core aeration, and they would do that and reseed. And that's what I plan on doing actually next time.
Yeah, the core aerator is basically for if you have compacted soils too, right?
It can, but it's really it gives elbow room for your other grass plants. So like if you've got a major thatch problem, you can rake out the thatch in between. But what this does is divides the roots of your grass plants every time it takes out a plug, and then those roots will grow and fill out. But also your grass seed will grow too.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice, yeah.
Very nice. So that's just something that I would do. Crabgrass is interesting. It dies in the fall. Remember, it dies in the fall. So if you seed in the fall, you don't have a competing weed that comes up. So just saying. And here's the bad news. If you have more than 50% bare spots, completely renovate your lawn.
Totally.
You are going to be wasting time, money, effort. Just kill it all, start over. Kill it all and start over. We're going to do a show in the next couple of weeks that's going to be about how to start a new lawn, and that I want you to listen in for that. But if it's more than 50% bare spots or weeds, start from scratch. Sorry, but
That's the way it is.
again,
right?
we want to give you it straight.
Yeah.
All right. Remember, crabgrass control that's available for seeding. It has to say it on the bag. Go to your local garden center. They will put it in your hand, okay? Put it in your hand. All right, we'll be right back right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds. We carry a flock of feeders like the Brome Squirrel Proof Feeder, which has a lifetime guarantee. Brome makes fantastic feeders for frustrating squirrels and feeding songbirds. Bloomer's Bird Sanctuary has a vast selection of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. We carry Lyric, Coles, C&S, Pine Tree Farms, and our own line called Bloomer's Blend. Bloomer's Blend Songbird Magnet contains premium black oil sunflower, peanut splits, millet, safflower, and tree nuts. It's sure to attract the most colorful songbirds to your yard. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey. Visit us online at www.bloomers.com. When you come in, ask for Shirley Spurbeck, Bloomer's Wild Bird Specialist. Mention you heard it on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, and we'll give you $10 off a 20-pound bag of Bloomer's Blend Songbird Magnet Mix. You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. It's coming. The pressure to buy a 4-step program. 4-step lawn program. Look, it's a genius. Genius. It was the most revolutionary program that was ever created as far as a marketing program in our industry. It seemed like a great idea. And here's it. I'm Mr. Homeowner. You need to buy the 4-step program. That's right. Okay? I'm going to take all of your lawn money up front. Wow. Okay? And that you're going to have these bags in your garage that you're going to forget when they need to go on. You're going to forget to put them on. Or you're going to say, I don't really need it.
I'm too tired.
But every year you'd buy a 4-step program. And that the company that really started this, which, we're not going to say their name is Scott's or anything, but that's who did it. And it was genius. They gave you a big rebate. But the problem is the 4-step program has been dumbed down where there's no insect control anymore. It's just, you get 3 fertilizers and a crabgrass. No, you get 2 fertilizers, a crabgrass control, and a broadleaf control. And other companies, of course, like, we're going to follow what Scott's did. Here's the issue. Everybody's lawn and everybody's circumstances are different. Do you have disease issues in your lawn? It's like, you must need fertilizer. I'm going to put more of that 4-step on. There's no disease control in a 4-step. Do you need to seed? Like we talked about in this last segment. I'm going to put down, step 1. It's like, well, great. Your seed won't come up. And then you'll say, wow, I'm not good with my lawn. So I'm just going to go and hire somebody else, or I'm going to do something else. And you're going to pay a fortune.
More now.
Right. How about your pH?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is there anything in those bags about pH and adjusting your pH?
0.
No. None of these are addressed in a step program.
Right.
I'll tell you, they have a granular broadleaf weed control, right? Julio?
Yes.
Oh, that's dangerous. He has not been prepped, but this one.
Go ahead.
Is a granular broadleaf weed control more effective than a liquid?
No. The liquid is more effective.
Ding, 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 ding.
There you go.
Give that man a cigar.
I got one.
Look, the way that it works is that if you have a step 2 weed and feed, whatever you want to call it, that is supposed to be a broadleaf dandelion control, those particles that you put down have to stick to that weed surface and release in order for it to be effective. If it rains or it's dry and they don't stick to it and they go underneath it, it's not going to control it. It has to stay on the leaf. When you use a liquid and you spray, and again, our Weed Beater Ultra is our favorite from Bonide, where that it can be done when it's cold. It can be done. There are so many benefits. When you spray that, plus it's rain fast. So you spray it, it coats the surface of the leaf, and guess what? Your broadleaf weeds die. And here we go back to, I use that 4-step thing and it doesn't work. I use that step 2 and it doesn't work. That weed and feed, it never works. And it's because they're putting it before rain, or it's being done. The best thing to use is in the morning. You can use it, and then that way there's a little bit of dew on the weeds, and it'll stick to it. But I go to work in the morning. I've got stuff to do in the morning. The time I can do is maybe on the weekend. But then again, I got to go to the kids' baseball, basketball.
You're a busy guy.
And that what happens is that where it ends up not working.
Yeah.
Your local garden center is the absolute best clearinghouse for information. A lot of the people who we talk to on radio, it's like, well, where do you go for your stuff? Oh, I got a Home Depot.
Home Depot, yeah.
I got a Home Depot. And they wonder why they're not having success. And look, the Home Depot, they're just doing it, okay? They're just putting it out there. Let's sell as many as we can. It could be, the plate guy that makes keys. It could be, the lumber guy, and like, oh, look, we need somebody over in the lawn care aisle.
If you find one.
Yeah, and again, it's important. It goes back to knowing how plants grow and what you need, and that your local garden center, your local independent garden center's money that you pay there goes back into the community. It doesn't go to Arkansas if it's Walmart. It doesn't go to Atlanta if it's Home Depot. It doesn't go to the Carolinas if it's Lowe's. And like, if by the way, if I'm shot, by the time the next show comes, you'll know it's one of those guys. Who do they go to when they need support for the kids' baseball team? Yeah, there you go. They're going to the local guys.
Right.
They're going to local businesses. Oh, I need a basket for a Chinese auction.
Right.
They're going to local guys. Support your local businesses, and especially the garden centers. Garden centers it is a true David and Goliath thing, but the difference is that they have the information. So again, 4-step programs. When you have an issue that your lawn's like, something weird is happening, like all of a sudden I've got like this, it looks like a dusting on my lawn. What is that? We can tell you. It looks like my grass blade has like a little cigarette burn in the middle of it. What is that? What is that going on? I was like, we've got another disease problem. I've got this bug that I don't know what to do. How can I get rid of it? Your garden centers can answer those questions and can help you if you do it a step at a time. Okay, I know you don't buy the whole thing at once, and it's that magical fairy dust that you put down on your lawn, and it's perfect, and it looks like the golf course. No. You need to partner with your local garden center, and then you'll be successful.
Yes.
All right. Julio, you going to protect me if any of the big box stores want to go to shoot me when I leave? Because they sell a lot of stuff.
I know they do.
They do. Anyway, support your local businesses, support your local garden center. We'll be right back right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with their #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Any day, all right? And this is why we have this segment, by the way.
That's
Any
right.
day, the calls are going to start. How do I take care of my hydrangea? Well, we could do a segment every week on it. Right?
Sometimes we do.
Sometimes we do. We might have to. In this segment, we're going to give you everything about hydrangea. It's a primer, so listen up, folks.
All right. First thing to know about hydrangeas. Old wood and new wood. What the heck does that mean? Okay. Hydrangeas, that their old wood is the wood from the plant that came and overwintered. Okay, that's the old wood. New wood is the new growth that will grow from the old wood. If we were talking about landscapers who cut back
Everything.
if you have a landscaper that cuts back everything in the fall,
Right.
you need to find a new landscaper or just tell them, like, look, pal, you can't cut back my hydrangeas in the fall because they're not going to flower in the spring. And that because they prefer to flower on their old wood that overwinters, not the new growth that comes out. So that's the difference. Old wood, new wood. It used to be that there were varieties that only flowered on their old wood. Like one of my favorites is like Nico Blue. Nico Blue is a gorgeous hydrangea, huge blue flowers, great hydrangea. But it only will flower on its old wood. The newer varieties like Endless Summer, and there's I think, throw a rock and hit a dozen of the new varieties that will go and flower on their new wood. So the ever-blooming hydrangeas like that, they are only called ever-blooming because they'll flower on their new wood. But they never have as big a show as they did when they flowered on their old wood. Just saying. Hydrangea types. Everybody loves the big leaf hydrangeas that have the big round balls of flowers, and usually they're pink, blue, or white. They're called Hydrangea macrophylla. Okay. Endless Summer is probably the most popular these days. But gosh, there's so many. I mean, Proven Winner's got their own. There's different types. So the botanical name, Hydrangea macrophylla, and then after that, it'll have the varietal name. That's again, big snowball bush. It's got that big flower. Now that's the one that you'll cut the flowers off for sure. Now if you cut them at the wrong time of the year. Now there's panicle type hydrangeas. Panicle types are like limelights. There's what's the new? It's the new one that I like is actually called Limelight Prime.
Right.
It's a dwarf, more compact variety. And so instead of being 6 foot, it's only going to grow about 4 foot. I really like that. That's a new one. Of course, it's a proven winner. Anyway, that there's a lot of that type, but generally, most of these are white flowering that flower in late summer and fall, and that they have more of a triangular flower. Now, those we talked a few weeks about having and cutting those back in the winter, like that's part of your winter pruning program. So again, that's panicle hydrangeas, and it's the Limelight series, and it's they're the majority of them are white, and then they'll fade to like a pink. So a lot of times they'll have pink in the name because they fade to pink, but they really start out being white. Oak leaf hydrangeas, Hydrangea quercifolia, and you know what's cool about that is that quercus with a Q is oak, right? So Hydrangea quercifolia is the oak leaf hydrangeas. Ruby slippers is one of my favorite.
Beautiful.
That'll be flowering early. That one you need to just.
Early,
You know, what did when we talked to Dr. Armitage, and it was so funny. We expected to have a long segment when we're talking to him about pruning hydrangeas. Basically, said you prune them after they bloom.
That's it.
Drop the mic.
Oh,
You know, it's like, well, thank you for coming.
yeah, that's it.
So, hydrangeas rule of thumb: if you just prune them after they bloom, you'll be fine. But if you start pruning them, you know, because you've got your pruners out or your landscaper has their crew there because they're trying to get billable hours. No offense to you guys, I understand, but it's the last hurrah before winter. That again, there are certain plants that need it. There's certain plants that don't, and again, macrophylla hydrangeas do not need it at that time. But the great thing about the oak leaf hydrangeas, they have great fall color. Bright red foliage. Then there's smooth hydrangeas. I have a big hedge of smooth hydrangeas at my house. You'll know some of the varieties: Incredible, Invincible Spirit. They're whites or pinks. Flower's not like a big cluster of flowers. It's more like a flat-topped flower. But, man, they are full and big.
Beautiful.
So, again, make sure you don't go and clean up. Like, I know everybody's itching to get outside and do stuff. Leave your hydrangeas alone. Right now, if you don't know the variety, leave them alone. If you know you have Limelight hydrangeas, go ahead and cut them back. They'll be fine. Again, leave them alone. Put the shears down and walk away from the plant. All right. Anything to add, Julio?
No.
No? Julio's sick. Julio has a cold. Okay. You've been a great help today.
I don't have.
You've been my support. My rock.
I rock.
I'll be back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. You know, some of our most frequent questions revolve around organic container gardening for houseplants, annuals, and of course, vegetables. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is a lightweight soil mixture made with salmon, blueberry, lobster, and other composts, as well as calcium and chitin-rich lobster shells, sphagnum peat, perlite, and kelp meal. It is a great soil. And Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Organic Potting Soil is rich in organic material, creating lush, disease-resistant plants that require less watering, less feeding. Its rich, dark brown color provides the perfect balance between water retention and drainage needed for healthy plants. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is available at these local retailers.
Haynes Garden Center, Cinnaminson, New Jersey. Burlington Agway, Burlington, New Jersey. Sickles Market, Little River, New Jersey. Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len. He's Julio. Aaron and Sam are here, but they don't have their mics on. Aaron, you have your mic on, though, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, all right, cool. All right, so Philadelphia Flower Show starts today.
Oh, right.
A couple weeks ago, we had Seth Pearsall, creative director for the PHS Philadelphia Flower Show here in the garden. And he gave us a recap of things not to miss. And the theme this year is Garden Electric.
Oh, yes.
I tell you, the one thing that I keep coming away for, the best thing, is do the early morning tour. Mm-hmm. Okay? If you've got kids, it might be a little rough. But if you are going and with adults or older kids, early morning tours are where you get all the inside information on how the displays are done and all the information about the entire flower show, the history. It's very cool. Very cool.
Very nice.
Lots of hands-on stuff too, right, Julio?
Oh, tons of stuff. Potting parties,
right.
That way you get your hands in the pot and
Get your hands dirty.
Yeah, that's right. Get that soil in your fingernails.
That's right. We talked to Aaron about the early morning photography tour.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Where it's a little inside information on. I'm sure that the people that are running those tours have their own specialty for photography.
Yeah,
that'd
be awesome. Yeah.
I mean, photography on plants, and Aaron, you'd probably attest to this. It's a little different, isn't it? Because they look different depending on the light.
Absolutely. Lighting is everything. Ambiance is everything. So, I mean, and the Philadelphia Flower Show is kind of geared towards that ambiance of the lighting and the vibes, the vibrancy of the colors. So, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Got it.
Now, Julio this year is going to be at the Flowers After Hours, the dance party.
Oh yes,
You're going, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, but you're not. This is after your bedtime.
Yeah, it is.
March 11th. Someday I'm going to go to this. Someday, but it says it's black tie. March 11th.
You're going to need your Epsom salt.
From 8:30 to 11:30. Do not tell Danielle. The theme is Garden Noir.
Yep.
That's like the film Noir.
Yeah.
Participants will wear all black attire and masks. Mm-hmm. It's like masks like in, I don't think like masks as in like, COVID masks.
No, like Mardi Gras. Maybe like...
I'm boring. I don't do stuff. I tease Julio all about it, but I'm actually talking about myself.
The next one is going to be for Aaron, right?
No, I'm not done. I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done.
This event for 21 and over.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Again. Flowers After Hours. It is a party, okay? Tickets are $75, and I think they serve alcohol.
Oh, they do?
I'm there.
Get your Bengay, Julio.
You're going to be sore the next day. I'll just schedule you off. March 12th, Julio not able to come in.
Gosh.
I'm sick this morning. I'm sick. I'm sick, Len.
It's like, wow.
You mean my back is hurting?
Yeah. It was that truck. Yeah, I'll find out. He's like, Julio was out until 4 a.m.
Oh my God.
Anyway, but you're right. The next,
this is for Aaron.
Kid Cocoon. What is it, Julio?
It's this year. The Cocoon will feature a play area for the children to learn about pollinators, which is really wonderful.
That is
plant seeds and take them home, and it's for free, which is even better, right, Aaron?
Oh yeah,
free. That's the right price.
Yeah. It is.
Family Frolic is activities for kids that can that they can just do while they're at the show. Different things, face painting, giveaways, mascot visits, and more. I wouldn't be surprised if like the Philly mascots are there.
Yeah.
They always, this is a big deal for the town, for Philadelphia. Fido Fridays.
Fido,
Julio, you can bring your imaginary dog
Yeah.
on March 10th. March 10th is Fido Friday. You can bring your furry friends to the flower show free.
Yeah.
So you can bring your dog.
Oh, Melissa can bring her little.
Yeah, Melissa, right. I'm sorry, but that dog would tear it up. And the one thing not to miss is that it's Butterflies Live. It's an experience where you enter a butterfly habitat, see how they interact. They're flying around. They land on you. It's very, very cool. Great place to take pictures.
Yep.
The Philadelphia Flower Show runs from March 4th to the 12th. It's open every day. And that check times, because the earliest on March 12th, the last day, it's going to close at 6. But most of the other times, it's open 7 or 8 o'clock. And by the way, Bloomers has tickets.
Yes.
Go to any of your local garden centers. Like, for instance, the tickets at Bloomers end up being, you can get them as low as $40 for adults, cash or check only. But you have to get them in person. Check with your, local area suppliers. You can get them online. I think it's $46. But again, it is a great time, and it's something that you'll talk about, and it's a great date. Sam, date night.
Yeah,
it is
so?
Perfect.
Sounds like a great time.
Perfect. It's perfect. I'm trying to get TJ go, but he's married, so he doesn't date anymore. Anyway, all right. We'll be right back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomers Home and Garden Center is dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds. We carry a flock of feeders like the Brome Squirrel-Proof Feeder, which has a lifetime guarantee. Brome makes fantastic feeders for frustrating squirrels and feeding songbirds. Bloomers Bird Sanctuary has a vast selection of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. We carry Lyric, Coles, C&S, Pine Tree Farms, and our own line called Bloomers Blend. Bloomers Blend Songbird Magnet contains premium black oil sunflower, peanut splits, millet, safflower, and tree nuts. It's sure to attract the most colorful songbirds to your yard. Bloomers Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey. Visit us online at www.bloomers.com. When you come in, ask for Shirley Spurbeck, Bloomers Wild Bird Specialist. Mention you heard it on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, and we'll give you $10 off a 20-pound bag of Bloomers Blend Songbird Magnet Mix. You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider, or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB, and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
Julio.
Wow,
Hey, you want to see Julio sick? Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. This is what Julio looks like with a cold. Anyway, hey, I want to thank you for listening today. Don't call us on the hotline, 609-685-1880. Leave us your question. We'll call you right back with an answer.
Yes, and you can listen to Bloomers in the Garden anytime. Search your favorite podcast provider or go to bloomers.com and visit us on the radio tab.
Thank you to our producers, TJ and Sam. We'll see you next week right here in the garden.
See you in the garden.